On this episode of Trying Not to Sink, we're going to go over our annual boating budget. And considering we didn't go anywhere, what do you think it's going to be?
My name is Ed. I'm an ex-musician, turned politician, turned accountant, who now imagines himself a sea captain. This is Lynn. She's an ex-model, retired photographer, and the love of my life. 3 years ago, we bought a boat. No experience and completely clueless. Since then, we have traveled over 10,000 miles along the Atlantic coast and the Bahamas. Join us as we continue the adventure, exploring exciting places, meeting new people, and having the time of our lives while trying not to sink. Hey guys, thanks for joining us.
Yay!
For our annual boat budget video. That time of year to talk about money. If you've watched our channel before, every year we do a budget. We try to project what we're going to do in the beginning of the year and see how well it lines up. This is, I think, our fourth budget, something like that. It's a little bit different this year because we didn't take a trip. So it's probably...
Well, we took a trip.
We did. We took a small trip. We went down to Annapolis for a couple of days. I'll get into that in a second. But you know what? I wanted to just take a moment to update people who watch our channel regularly. The last episode you saw that I took out the windlass finally after several days of just beating the hell out of it. We got it out and we weren't sure at the time what we were going to do as far as replacing it. I called Galley Made to see if it was rebuildable. It's not. The main reason it's not rebuildable is they don't make the gearbox the same way anymore. They changed it in the mid-80s. My gearbox is from the 70s, or 79 at least. But however, they did have some good news for me though. They were willing to sell me the gearbox with a new shaft, all brand new, $1,750. Sound like a great deal to me. We get to reuse our relay box, we reuse our motor, and we reuse the capstan and the Wildcat, and it's a big savings over the cost of a new Galley Made. Our model is about $5,500 brand new, which they'll sell me as well, but it's really cool that they'll sell me just the parts that I need. However, we had a problem. They had offered to take a look at my motor, refurbish it, maybe put new brushes in, things like that, and make sure that it mounts correctly onto their new gearbox. So we shipped it to them.
I shipped it.
Yeah, she shipped it to them. And I don't know what either of us were thinking. We didn't insure it.
We were rushing so much to get it to them that, I thought of it, and then I didn't think of it.
So we didn't insure it. So UPS delivers to Galley Made an empty box. The 35-pound motor is not in the box. They taped it all up, made it look nice again, and delivered an empty box. I have no idea where our motor is. UPS is trying to track it right now. I'm not hopeful, and the worst part is going to be it is a $1,500 motor. It's actually $1,250 or $1,300 for the motor, and there's a kind of a worm gear on the shaft, which I left there. And anyway, we're keeping our fingers crossed, but it looks like I may have to spring for a new motor. Not the end of the world. Be kind of cool to have a brand new motor as well. Then, it'll, hopefully get another 40 years out of it. I'm going to do something to shut that bird up, or it's going to do that through the whole video.
And they're all going to think it's...
Yeah, they're going to think it's our smoke alarm.
Yeah. Well, now she's got the ringing down in the office, too.
Yeah. So. Now, please be quiet, bird. I'm going to give you a bunch of pistachios are her favorite food, and maybe that'll keep her busy for a while.
Yep. Okay,
well, anyway, back to the boat budget. Well, I'll bring up the first slide here. You can see, fuel. We only spent $725 on fuel this year.
That's really great.
Yeah, it was
Our
fantastic.
electric members in?
Yeah, obviously that's because we only took one trip. We went to Annapolis. We showed you that video a couple of months ago where we went to Annapolis with Gary, Krista, and Mark and Joe. We did a three-boat convoy. We went to Annapolis, stopped in Baltimore, stopped a couple places along the Chesapeake C&D Canal.
Threw our drone into the
flew my drone into the Chesapeake Bay. But $725 in fuel. That's all we spent. Oil filters, Raycors. I changed the Raycor filters in the beginning of the season. I did not do an oil change yet. I didn't go anywhere. I thought, well, I'll do it this winter. I've been procrastinating. I hate changing the oil on this boat. So, yeah, $50 for oil filters. We spent, what, $9,500 on slips this year. Most of that, I think about $8,800, something like that, was for our main slips here in Philly at Penn's Landing and Pier 5. The rest of it, I think 600 and change, actually is from the trip down to Annapolis and Baltimore. Usually we pay a little bit more for slips here, but the Pier 5, or I'm sorry, Penn's Landing Marina gave us a bit of a discount this year because, well, we're normally gone, so they usually rent out our slips. So they give me a discount, they give me a bigger discount, and we actually didn't go anywhere. So I guess we made out this year. But anyway, slips altogether, $9,500. Repairs. This year we had some repairs. If you looked at last year's video, we did really, really well. We had wait. Hold. Hang on a sec. I'm recording, man. What's up?
Just bringing your stuff back.
Oh, cool. Hey, thanks. This is mine? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it must be.
Right.
And we're recording for about an hour, so yeah. Okay.
That was 10.
How was I sitting?
So
Okay, well, if you look at our last year video, we had hardly any repairs. We got very, very lucky. This year, not so much. Let me just bring up our repair video here and see. I can give you the details. We spent $6,349 on repairs this year. The biggest one, well, let's start at the top. The first thing we did was we changed the air conditioner. This is for the master stateroom. It blew a compressor, and there was no way I was going to replace a compressor on a 40-year-old air conditioner. So we decided to change that. That was $1,704.
and it was a good change because the new air conditioner is awesome.
Yeah, works great. Yeah, no problems at all. I'm eventually going to do all the air conditioners in here, I think. The next thing, another video we did was on the turbocharger. We changed out the turbocharger. That was a pain in the neck.
You thought that was a pain in the neck till you got to something else.
Yeah, I thought that was the hardest job I ever did until I started to change the windlass. So.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Manhattan, by the way, with what am I, Bird Dog. Somebody recommended it. I like it. Windlass was the next big repair, $2,500. Now, I actually haven't spent that money yet. I have that in there because the repair should have been done last year. It's the winter now. I've been working on it for over a month. I actually probably started last year. So I'm including the expense then. I currently have it at $2,500, and that's my wishful thinking that they come up with my motor. But if they don't come up with the motor, that $2,500 is going to go up to $4,000. Because not only do I have to pay $1,750 for the new gear box and the new shaft, it might be $1,500 to replace the motor, and the rest of the money is going to be, there's going to be shipping, and we also want to re-chrome our capstan. The Wildcat itself looks pretty good, but we're going to re-chrome the capstan. Oh, also
The horn too.
Yeah, while we're re-chroming, we have some other things to re-chrome. The other part of the expense is $300 for carriage bolts, which is just I don't blame Galley Made. They don't make the carriage bolts, but they're 15-inch long chrome carriage bolts, and they're $50 each, and I need 6 of them. So, what are you going to do? So the windlass repair hopefully will be $2,500. The only other thing we had to do on the boat that I can recall this year was the water pump, our fresh water pump, $145. I did a video on that too, where I replaced it with a different type of motor. Anyway, it's $145. That seems to be working just fine. Our total repairs this year came to $6,349, and that's probably tenfold what it was the year before. But if you go back another year, I think it was a few thousand, and then we had that one big year where it was 7. Yeah, it's averaging out. You win some, you lose some.
The year of the shaft.
The year of the shaft. Okay, well, let's see. What do we have? What do we have next year? Okay, I have maintenance amortization on here like I do every year. And if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that we spent, I think it was around $10,000 doing some long-term items on the boat, such as a bottom job, new shaft seals, new cutlass bearings, things that were going to last a long time. And I just want to charge it off 1 year. It didn't seem to make sense, so I amortized them over the lifespan of the item that we replaced. And so that came out to $2,300 a year. So you'll see that on all my budgets. That's from the big expense 4 years ago when we did a lot of preventative maintenance. Cleaning, we didn't spend any money cleaning this year. You know, we cleaned the boat ourselves a few times, so we didn't really go anywhere. So we didn't have.
So we didn't bother to.
So that's zero. Insurance was $5,100. I wasn't thrilled about that. I'm less thrilled now because they raised it again. I'm with Boat US, and I know it's not just them raising it, but this year I got a bill, and it's going to be in the $7,300, something of that nature, from 51. It's a real shame because when I bought the boat 4 years ago, the very first year, I think I paid $2,600, and it went to $3,100. I'm like, oh, okay, not the end of the world. Then it went to $4,100. I wasn't really pleased. Then it went to $5,100, and I was less pleased.
I think everybody's feeling that.
Yeah, and
I don't know what's going on, but it's happening.
But now we had a 50% raise in a single year. No claim, nothing. It's well. It is what it is. I can shop around for other boat insurance, but if I do, I'm going to have to get the boat resurveyed. And, it's just whatever. This year I'm paying it. I'll give it some more thought. Maybe I'll get a survey over the summer and look for another insurance carrier. If you have any ideas about who to look for, let me know. I've tried a couple of places. They were coming in around $6,000. It's not really worth it for me to do a $6,000 just to save $1,400 and have to spend $1,000 on a survey. So for this year, we're just doing it. We're just paying it.
And I think everybody's looking for it because all you guys, your insurance has raised. I've seen over the forums and stuff. And
well, the other item on here, tips. I spent a lot less money on tips this year because really, we had a handful of guys to tip or deckhands to tip on our trip. Yeah. Most of this $310 just went to. We only had one local dockhand this year. We usually have more than one, but because of COVID, they kind of scaled things back. So it was a low year for tipping.
Yeah.
All the way around too, because we hardly went out to dinner at all the entire year.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I don't know.
Saved so much money.
Yeah. Our boat budget's looking pretty good. Our personal budget, we saved a fortune because we usually go out to eat 3 times, 4 times a week, and we didn't at all. Well, hardly at all. Okay, that brings our total expenses to $24,000. The bird's back. $24,000. Okay. That brings our total expenses to $24,334, which is...
Okay, I'm going to give her something.
Okay, we're going to give the bird something to shut her the hell up.
Be a good girl. You got to be a good girl. Stop your beeping like a smoke detector.
Okay, well, you can see we brought the bird over, so hopefully she'll be quiet. Okay. Okay, so the other category that I'm adding to this this budget is improvements. Now, improvements are things that we didn't have to do, but we wanted to do. One of the main things, I think this is on the top of Lynn's list, was the AIS system.
Yes.
So we had that installed. That was $899. We haven't had a chance to really use it yet, but it looks like it's going to be cool, and it's going to, add to the safety of the boat, and it'll be fun. And well, anyway, the AIS was $899. I did a video not too long ago about a monitor, a 15.5-inch monitor that I got that I'm going to be using for chart plotting, and I'm operating that off of my old cell phone. There it is. Okay. One of the biggest expenses we had for improvements this year were the lithium batteries that we purchased and the inverter. The total cost for that came to $25.86, and we're really looking forward to having that. We've used it a few times since we've purchased it, just to use it. We came to the boat, we turned off the dock power, and just let the inverter run the batteries.
It was good.
We were getting, 6-7 hours off of it, running normal things on the boat, the refrigerators, the ice maker, maybe making a quick pot of coffee or something like that. It seems to be doing real well. So we're really looking forward to that. I'm probably going to pick up a couple extra batteries for it, but we'll see how it does on this year's trip. We also added the solar panels. They were $743, and again, we haven't had a much chance to use them either. It's winter here in Philadelphia, and we are tucked into a corner in this marina where we hardly get any sunlight here. So I think I looked at the monitor so far. It's given us 3.5 kilowatts since I installed it 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing, which we haven't used yet either, is I purchased the alternator charger, and that's in one of our videos as well. That was $159, and we're really looking forward to using that. We haven't used it at all, other than just tested it to make sure that it was working. But that's going to charge our lithium batteries while we're underway. So we're really going to get a lot of use out of the alternator charger. We spent $500 on materials when we built the flybridge table.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. That was kind of like, early in the season project. It came out fantastic. We really love it. $500 in materials. That's kind of a lot for materials, but the wood's really nice. It was expensive. It was in fact, this is in here. We had some extra left over. Lynn made a cutting board out of it. So
yeah, Mark gave me the cleats to put on the end.
So anyway, $500 for the flybridge table, and one other improvement which we've not used at all yet. I don't think, right?
What's that?
The marriage savers.
Oh no! What are we gonna do?
So we did buy the marriage saver. Finally broke down and bought what everyone recommends is the best microphone system to have when you're boating, especially.
We did use them.
Yeah, where did we?
When we went on a
the
little trip with everyone.
Yeah, but I think what it is we forgot we had them for a while, and then we used them once, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're looking forward to having those. So the total amount that we spent on improvements this year was $5,407. Now, the last item that I want to talk about is channel stuff, and by that I mean things that we purchased. Just for our YouTube channel. Yeah, for you guys. There was things that we had to do. They were not really boating related, but they're related to our boating life, I guess. What we had to replace the Lumix camera. That's the camera we're filming on now. Yeah, it just died, and the way it died was a way that it wasn't worth fixing.
It's only a year old too.
Yeah, so I think that was like $500 and some to replace the Lumix. At least I had the lenses and some spare batteries. We also, what did we do? We got these lavalier mics. These were actually a gift from my son Chase for Christmas. The lavalier mics and some circle lights that we're actually using right now as well. I included them in the budget, even though we got them as a gift, because there's value to them. So I wanted to show that value on the budget.
Because we wanted to get them anyway, so
yep.
It was a perfect gift.
And what else do we do? We did something else for improvements too. Not improvements. We're talking about boat stuff.
Yeah. The channel stuff.
We did purchase. We got an action camera.
Oh.
Yeah, we
got.
It's the Osmo Action. It's basically a GoPro, but it's by Osmo, and it's really nice. I've used it a couple of times on videos. It has very good stabilization. I don't just walk around holding it. So we're looking forward to having that. So now that we have a regular Osmo Pocket, which we use all the time. We have this Osmo Action. We still have our GoPro. And so we're going to try and set cameras up in various places. You've seen us experiment a little bit with that so far.
To show you guys all the aspects of what we're doing.
But anyway, so they're channel stuff. It has nothing to do with really boating, but it's channel stuff. And I can swear there's one other thing that we got for the channel that I don't remember what it is. Oh, my drone.
Oh, how did we forget that?
Yeah, my drone, which is at the bottom of the Chesapeake right now.
Unintentionally.
Yeah, unintentionally.
No one would sacrifice their drone to
I did like that drone. The drone did a good job.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was the Phantom 3 Professional, and I think I paid like $1,500 for that back when we got it about 5 years ago. Anyway, I replaced it with the Mav Air 2.
We're rocking.
Yeah, we are. So I replaced it with the Mav Air 2, which I've just flown around the house. I haven't used it for boating at all yet, but we're really looking forward to that.
He literally flew it in the house.
Yeah,
so it's awesome.
It is a lot smaller, and it's easier to control. Literally, I just walked around the living room and in the lobby, the foyer, and I just kind of walked around. And I moved it around the house, and it's just it seems like it's going to be great. As much as I like the other drone, the technology's changed in 5 years, and this looks like it's going to be fantastic. Anyway, that was channel stuff, $2,027. So when we add all of that together, everything we did on our regular yearly expenses, the $24,334, throw in the improvements, throw in the channel stuff, total boating budget this year was $31,168.
What? We didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. I know. Well, let me compare it to last year. The last year's budget, 2019. Let me pull up a chart with that real quick. And just a real quick comparison. I'm not going to go too much into it, but fuel, obviously. You know, we spent $14,000 more on fuel the previous year than we did this year. That's the big difference. Oil and filters, slips. We spent a lot more money on slips because we were traveling and getting transient slips all over the place.
Not next year.
Repairs were only $1,800 though. That was a big expense we had this year, and we didn't really do anything as far as improvements last year. I don't remember what the $750 was for, but it wasn't much. Yeah, so we're $5,000 more on improvements this year. Same thing for maintenance, amortization. That came out the same. We did have somebody clean the boat, $400 last year. The insurance went up $1,000. Tips were significantly more because we traveled, and we didn't do a whole lot for the miscellaneous and channel stuff in 2019. So the total comparison is 2019 we spent $43,732. This year we spent $31,768.
Which are probably because of much needed improvements.
Yeah, I mean that's a $12,000 difference. But if you take off the improvements, we spent $17,000 less this year, which is about right because last year's trip to the Bahamas cost around $20,000. So anyway, that's our budget for the year. That's what we did. I expect it to be a lot more this coming year. Where our plan is to go down to the Bahamas and actually spend more time there. You know, we're hoping to spend at least a month in the Bahamas this year.
Yes.
So, you know, we're expecting to be spending some more money. But we'll do another budget next year. We'll let you know how that goes. Until then, cheers.
I'm cheersing.
Your cheers an empty glass? Oh, well. Cheers.
Cheers, my friends. Till next time. Roger out.
Roger out.